Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tera Vanachare Yamuna Tera Vanachare Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Behare Jayo Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Jayo Radha Madhav Jayo Jayo Prabhupada 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 Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotar Shatasri His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Vrinda Devi Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Status Quo, Chapter number 30, Description of Adverse Fruitive Activities, Text number 33. Kevalena hi adharmena kutumba baranotsukaha yati jivondata misram charamam tamasah padam Kevalena hi adharmena kutumba baranotsukaha yati jivondata charamam tamasah padam Kevalena simply, he certainly, adharmena by irreligious activities, kutumba family, bharana to maintain, utsukaha eager, yati goes, jivaha a person, andata misram to andata misra, charamam ultimate, tamasaha, tamasaha of darkness, padam region. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Therefore, a person who is very eager to maintain his family and kinsmen simply by black methods certainly goes to the darkest region of hell, which is known as Andhata Misra. Translation with repetition. Therefore, a person who is very eager to maintain his family and the kinsmen simply by black methods certainly goes to the darkest region of hell, which is known as Andhatha Misra. Purport. Three words in this verse are very significant. Kevalena means only by black methods. Adharmena means unrighteous or irreligious. And Kutumba Bharana means family maintenance. Maintaining one's family is certainly the duty of a householder, but one should be eager to earn his livelihood by the prescribed method, as stated in the scriptures. In Bhagavad Gita, it is described that Lord has divided the social system into four classifications of castes or varnas according to quality and work. Apart from Bhagavad Gita, in every society, a man is known according to his quality and work. For example, when a man is constructing wooden furniture, he is called a carpenter, and a man who works with an anvil and iron is called a blacksmith. Similarly, a man who is engaged in the medical or engineering fields has a particular duty and designation. All these human activities have been divided by the Supreme Lord into four varnas, namely Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. In Bhagavad Gita, in other Vedic script literatures, the specific duties of the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra are mentioned. One should work honestly according to his qualification. He should not earn his livelihood unfairly by means for which he is not qualified. If a Brahmana who works as a priest so that he may enlighten his followers with the spiritual way of life is not qualified as a priest, then he is cheating the public. One should not earn by such unfair means. The same is applicable to a Kshatriya or to a Vaishya. It is specifically it is especially mentioned that the means of livelihood of those who are trying to advance in Krishna consciousness must be very fair and uncomplicated. Here it is mentioned that he who earns his livelihood by unfair means, Kevalena, is sent to the darkest hellish region. Otherwise, if one maintains his family by prescribed methods on honest means, there is no objection to one's being a family man. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are here in this chapter almost on the stage of the last few verses. After this we have just one verse with the title Description of Adverse Fruitive Activities. Lord Kapila Muni is narrating here to his mother, Devahuti, on the various kind of sinful reactions that the living entity will have to face because of the sinful activities that the conditioned soul has been performing while living in this world, in this material world. And the last few verses, probably 7, 8 verses, we have been seeing specifically about a family man and about his maintenance of his family. And here we see Kapila Muni is saying that Kevalena hi adharmena. Kevalena means simply. Someone who maintains the family, Prabhupada says in the purport, simply by black methods. Unfair means. Someone who maintains the family with an unfair means. Kevalena hi adharmena. Adharmena means someone who is maintaining the family in an irreligious way. Kutumba Bharana Utsukaha is very eager to maintain the family, somehow or other maintain the family, even if it is through Kevalena hi adharmena, even if it is through irreligious methods or the black methods of maintaining the family, and he is very eager about that. So what happens when someone is maintaining the family like this? So Kapila Muni says here, Yati Jivo Andata Misram. Yati Jivaha, the living entity, Yati, goes. We have heard this in Bhagavad Gita also. Yanti Devan, Vata Devan. Anyone who worships demigods, he goes to demigods. But here he is worshipping the family life in a way, in an irreligious way. So where he has to go? He has to go to Andata Misram. Yati Jivaha Andata Misram. He has to go to a hell known as Andata Misram. It's the darkest region of hell. Charamam Tamasaha Padam. It is ultimately darkness. It's the most darkest, as such hell is already dark. Hell means it is dark. And among the hellish planets, the darkest region of hell is known as Andata Misram. And someone who is eager to maintain a family life simply by any means, even if it is irreligious, doesn't matter. For such kind of living beings, they are sent to the planet known as, or the hellish planet known as Andata Misram. In the modern philosophy also, we hear people saying that life is too short. Life is too short. Who has seen tomorrow? चंद पल का जिंदगी है, कुछ दिन का जिंदगी है. People say, no, 4 दिन का जिंदगी. So let us somehow or other live up to the greatest extent. Somehow or other. This is their understanding. Somehow or other. किसी भी तरह. Charvaka Muni also says, what does he say? Ridam Gritva Grinam Pibet Yavat Jivet Sukham Jivet. Rinam Gritva means even if you take a loan, you can still You should still drink ghee. He means to say that goal of the life is to enjoy. Even if you have to beg, borrow or steal, doesn't matter. Why? Because yavat jivet sukham jivet. Yavat jivet sukham jivet. As long as you live, enjoy nicely, nicely enjoy. In Gujarati they say jalsa karo. Yavat jivet jalsa karo. But if someone says, what about next life? Yeah, you are doing you are doing begging, you are stealing, somehow or other you want to enjoy. But what about next life? So Charvaka Muni says, Bhasmi bhutasya dehasya. This body, after it is burnt into ashes, kutaha punaragamanaha. Who has seen? Who has seen that we are coming back again? So enjoy nicely. Enjoy this life to the fullest maximum extent. Exploit by whatever means, even if it is kevalena dharmena, doesn't matter, because goal of life is to enjoy. So long you are living, you enjoy. So problem is not with enjoyment. Yes, goal of life is to enjoy. Goal of life is to remain happy. Sukham jivet. Yes, we all want to be sukham jivet. But problem is kevalena hi adharmena. It is because of lack of if there is a right understanding, then the living entity becomes more responsible in terms of their activities and actions. That my action will cause me the kind of life suitable to the actions that I have been performing now. The living entity will be alert in terms of executing one's activities. Would be cautious. Otherwise, one has to suffer because of sinful activities in a hellish planet conditions. That's why Parikshit Maharaj also questions, why is that living entity suffering here? Why does it commit sinful activities, and how the living entity can be saved from the sinful activities? The living entity performs sinful activities because out of madness. Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma. Pramatta, nunam pramatta. Out of madness, the living being performs vikarma. Kurvan vikarma. He performs not karma but vikarma. Those activities which are against the instructions of Vedic literatures. Not as per the prescribed standards laid down by the Vedic scriptures. So, because of that, the living entity has to suffer in this world. As a result of which, he has to go through the various hellish experiences. Like here, the living being who is considering the goal of life is just to maintain the family life. There are different kinds of hellish planets. There are 28 different kinds of hellish planets, which further in the 5th canto it is explained. So someone who thinks goal of life is to maintain my family life and satisfy the family members, somehow or other satisfy their demands, because out of so much of attachment for family life, nuna pramatta, extremely attached to the family life. So he engages in various kind of activities, even if it is kevalena hi adharmena. because he has lost his good sense and thinks that maintaining this family life, maintaining the desires, maintaining the family life means family is not one person. Family means his no he, his wife, his children, his relatives, his society, his nation. Like that, he has a big kutumba he has conceived within his understanding, and he thinks maintaining them. Maintaining them means they have so many desires to be fulfilled. A wife will have so many desires, husband himself will have so many desires, children will have some desires. So his life is simply engaged in maintaining and satisfying those desires. Which Bhagavatam, even the Vaishnava Acharya says that I engaged in my whole life in maintaining my family life for simply wasting my time behind that. So, for such kind of people, no, Kapila Muni is giving the torchlight to realize that what is a reaction? What is a reaction of a person who considers himself, engages himself in maintaining the family life somehow or other? Kevalena hi adharmena. So, here Prabhupada in the purport gives some significant elaboration of this verse, and he says that there are three important words in this verse. One is Kevalena. Kevalena means by black methods, maintaining the family with the black methods. And second is Adharmena, which means unrighteous or irreligious. And the third is Kutumba Bharana. Kutumba Bharana means maintaining the family life. It's a family maintenance. So someone may think last few verses there is so much talked about family life and so much so to say apparently negativity about having about the family life. So someone who is not understanding the context, it will be too bitter for him, as if Bhagavatam is against the entire family life structure. Prabhupada here clarifies that uh, having a family life is actually not against the Vedic scriptures. But how it is being maintained is a concern for the Vedic literatures. Because by and large, in the material world, no, it has been observed, it is very common that people have that intuition to maintain the family life in somehow or another means. So Prabhupada here says that maintaining one's family life is certainly the duty of a householder. It's a duty of a householder. Someone who is a householder, he has accepted that role, so he has to maintain his family. There is no other option. It becomes an integral part of a householder's life, where he is duty bound to maintain the family, his family. That's the responsibility he has taken. But scripture says that to maintain a family life, one has to take up an occupation. In the Varnashrama system, a grihastha is allowed to take up an occupation for his livelihood. But that has to be based on the prescriptions given in the Vedic scriptures. It has to be a prescribed method through which one engages in livelihood, but not by not by black methods or by irreligious methods, which is against the understanding of Vedic scriptures. So Prabhupada further explains this kevalena hi adharmena in different perspectives. So Prabhupada says here that the Vedic civilization or any civilization is classified based on the 4 varnas and 4 ashramas, and it is divided based on uh, the quality and work. That has a reference even in Bhagavad Gita also says, and many other Vedic literatures also says. Even in Bhagavatam also, Narada Muni, while explaining to Yudhishthira Maharaj about the Varnashrama dharma, Varnashrama system, so it's based on the quality. The civilization is divided into 4 classes, and this class is divided based on quality and work. So there are so there is a quality, and a person, based on that quality, he has to engage in a specific work according to that quality. But Prabhupada says that here, if someone engages, if someone poses himself that he is having a specific quality but doesn't work according to that quality, then Prabhupada says that here is as an adharmena. It is an unreligious, unrighteous proposition. And Prabhupada gives here an example of Brahmana. A Brahmana, by quality, there are the qualities of Brahmana is explained in Bhagavad Gita and also in many other scriptures. A Brahmana is supposed to be samo damo tapo shaucham kshantirarjavame vacha. She is supposed to exhibit not just the qualification, but also he has to work according to that quality. But if someone poses as a Brahmana and does not work, say here Prabhupada says that one should work honestly according to his qualification. He should not earn his livelihood unfairly by means for which he is not qualified. If a Brahmana who works as a priest so that he may enlighten his followers with spiritual way of life is not qualified as a priest, then he is cheating the public. A Brahmana is supposed to enlighten the public in spiritual way of life. That is his foremost duty. In a Varnashrama system, Brahmana is considered as the head of the society. When we compare the Vedic division of the society is compared with this body. Just like the body, the head is considered to be the very important part of the body. Similarly, a Brahmana is considered to be a very important part of the society, because he owes a responsibility to the society by way of showing them the direction or the pathway towards perfection in spiritual life. But if a Brahmana poses himself as like a Brahmana, but he doesn't guide the society with pathway of spiritual life, then he's cheating the public. That is adharmena. That is the one perspective of understanding of adharmena which Prabhupada gives here. And why someone would like to pose of what he is not actually in real sense? Because a Brahmana, by virtue of being the head of the society, there is always a respect accorded to that position. There is a kind of a Brahmana is maintained by the other varnas. A Brahmana doesn't have an occupation. So if someone becomes a Brahmana or poses to be a Brahmana simply for the purpose of maintaining one's family life, that is considered here as adharmena. Kevalena hi adharmena. In India also, a Brahmana is very much revered and respected. Suppose that we have also seen devotees goes to someone's house, they will give some dakshina, Swamiji dakshina. Because that is the culture. The culture of Vedic society is that he maintains a Brahmana. But of course, the devotees know if someone gives such dakshina, they immediately come and offer to the Guru, because that is how the devotees are trained. because the devotees live under the shelter of a guru and a temple. So for them, they don't depend on anyone else other than that is the exclusive that is the exclusive surrender that he exercises in his life. But a brahmana, if he becomes not focused on maintaining, not focused on guiding the society by the spiritual in their spiritual life, but maintaining the family life becomes his means of utilizing that position of being a brahmana, then that is here referred as adharmena. Similarly, kshatriya also. A kshatriya, his nature, his duty, his quality is that he should protect the citizens. Kshatrayate iti kshatriya. He should protect the citizens from any kind of injury. But instead of protecting, if he punishes, if he uh, uh, aggrandizes the citizens. Say in the Bhagavatam, we hear how Parikshit Maharaj, when he was on the tour, he sees a black man dressed like a kshatriya, dressed like a king. But what is he doing? He is having a sword in the hand, but instead of protecting, he is killing. He is trying to kill the cows. That means kill the dharma. So a kshatriya, similarly, who may be like a kshatriya, dressed like a kshatriya, but instead of protecting the citizens, he is giving injury to the citizens, then that is adharmena. And someone who maintains the family life, a kshatriya of such nature, is considered as maintaining the family life through an unfair means. So that is one perspective of this understanding of kevalena hi adharmena, which Prabhupada gives here. Another perspective which Prabhupada gives here, someone may be having that qualification. It's agreed that a brahmana, he is having the quality of a brahmana and is engaging in such activities as a brahmana is engaging. But if he is utilizing the position to maintain the family life, or in a unrighteous manner, then it is called as adharmena. So one position is that I have no quality, but I pose like as if I have that quality and maintain myself or my family. That is adharmena. That is kevalena adharmena. Another is that I have the qualification. I have the qualification of brahmana, and I am engaged in the activities, but purpose of all those things is to maintain the family life through a unrighteous motives. Say for example, a Vaishya. Vaishya is a very expert person in managing the business. He has a very good acumen in managing the business. He has that quality. A Vaishya means he should have that acumen of running a business. But out of greed, he will engage himself in getting the business in an adharmena way, in an adharmic way. Because of greed, he engages into various different kinds of irreligious ways to run his business, and by that way he maintains his family life. So such kind of engagement, such kind of lifestyle is known as, here Prabhupada is giving a perspective, is known as is adharmena, is kevalena adharmena. So one has to be very cautious in that way, even for the devotees also. Here Prabhupada gives another perspective. One may be thinking, okay, these are all brahmanas, these are kshatriyas, okay, we are devotees. No, we are no. What is that we are supposed to, be taking care about? So Prabhupada is taking a chance to educate us also, because these, at the end of the day, Bhagavatam is read by the devotees. The devotee while reading, he may think, oh, this is not for me. It's very quite commonly we come to a conclusion when we read, we always apply on others. We don't see what is applicable to ours, what is applicable to us. So Prabhupada is taking a chance to instruct his disciples. That shows that Prabhupada is writing this purpose for the disciples, for his disciples. Prabhupada used to always say that I am writing these books for my disciples. So that means here and there he finds an opportunity to instruct according to the context by which devotees become serious in their practice of Krishna consciousness. And here Prabhupada says that the same is applicable. It is especially mentioned, okay. It is especially mentioned that the means of livelihood of those who are trying to advance in Krishna consciousness must be very fair and uncomplicated. So, even for those who are advancing in Krishna consciousness, we are all trying to advance in Krishna consciousness, for which we are engaging in different kinds of engagements. So, Prabhupada is saying here, even for those, it is especially mentioned that means of livelihood of those who are trying to advance in Krishna consciousness must be very fair and uncomplicated. They have to be very fair. Even if someone is engaged in Krishna conscious activities, their life should be very fair and they should not be complicated. Very fair and not complicated means one should be very simple in their thinking, in their activities, and being simple means he's satisfied with the opportunities that is given for him to advance in Krishna consciousness. He understands advancing in Krishna consciousness is a goal of my life. For advancing in Krishna consciousness, various opportunities and arrangements and facilities are required. In an institutional arrangement, those opportunities are amply made available for every devotee who is living under the shelter of the institutional arrangement given by Prabhupada. There are different opportunities to advance. There is service opportunities. There is opportunity to rise early in the morning every day without fail. There is an opportunity to serve along with the devotees, sato vritte, engage in sato vritte, engage in sadhu sangha, take prasadam every day. These are all our opportunities for someone who wants to advance in Krishna consciousness. All these different varieties of opportunities are there. And in the institutional arrangement, all these are easily made available for devotees. And devotees is satisfied by these opportunities. He won't be deprived by these opportunities, by which he will not advance in Krishna consciousness. Abundantly available, easily available. And someone who is satisfied by these opportunities, he is very simple. And that is what Prabhupada means here, that devotees must be very fair and uncomplicated. And now what becomes complicated for a devotee? There is good opportunities easily available. Then still what complicates a devotee? If a devotee is having a personal ambition and is not satisfied just by these, all these facilities are available, opportunities are available through which one can utilize and advance in Krishna consciousness, but is not just satisfied by that alone. He has many things for himself to attain, to achieve. He has his personal ambitions. Then his life becomes unfair and complicated. He complicates himself. He'll be in ashram, he will be in association of the institutional arrangement, All those opportunities will be there, but not satisfied. Because there is a personal agenda, there is a personal motives. He will be engaged in the service, but he will start looking upon others' service. He is doing that service. I am doing this service. He will start seeing that, oh, some service has some respect, some power, some controlling ability, some controlling opportunities, some name and fame is assigned, some position is there for some service. So he starts desiring, oh, he's not satisfied by the opportunity to advance in Krishna consciousness alone, but he also seeks that when will I get those opportunities by which I can also control, I also can become name, I can also become famous. मेरा भी कुछ नाम बनेगा यहाँ पे, no? So among the people who are outside, no, स्वामी जी पहुंचा हुआ स्वामी जी है, इसका पहुंच अच्छा है, देखो बड़े बड़े लोग के साथ मिलना जुलना उठना बैठना, because people also people also want such kind of people. When they see some devotee is having a good outreach of public relation, they come and ask that devotee, प्रभु जी उनसे थोड़ा काम करवा दो ना, मेरा काम एक अटका हुआ है. So devotee also thinks, oh, मेरा देखो मेरा कितना reach है. He becomes, and other devotees, other no, who are observing all these things, when will I become, when will I get that opportunity, forgetting that he has a great opportunity already available to advance in Krishna consciousness. So if devotee thinks like that, his his life will be unfair and complicated. He is complicated. He makes his life complicated. His mind and energy is diluted, is getting diverted on such material aspects that are associated with services. So one may say, okay, ठीक है, what about the person who is actually having these facilities? Okay, I for myself, okay, I understand that I should not be aspiring for that. But you see, the devotee is having that facility, how he is acting? He is acting as if he is bossing. He has become something very great. So someone may think like that. So a person who is also by the arrangement of institution, in an institutional arrangement, someone may be given a service according to their ability, according to their capability, and according to that services may be assigned. And Lord also will sometimes apparently or realistically or grossly also we can see something very big happening through those devotees. But at the heart, the devotee feels very light. He's at the heart he feels very simple. He does not himself carry a great opinion about himself. Oh, dekho, because of me this is happening, because of my skills and ability. And it is true also, there is some ability found and service opportunity is given, some result, some big result will come. And how does he see upon or look upon that result? If he starts looking upon the result as because of my ability, then he complicates his life. He is not simple. So both have to be uh, uh, having their state of consciousness. No, someone who sees others and or other devotee who is having apparently that position, name, fame assigned to that service, he should not be feeling, oh, when will I become that? When will I get that? forgetting that he is having a wonderful opportunity to advance in Krishna consciousness. And a devotee who also has that ability, that is real, that is true, that is not false. And that result is getting manifested, and he also remains simple and not complicated. By understanding that this is an arrangement, this is a facility given, the resources given to us, the resources given to me for a specific role play. The position, the name, the results, the power, everything is accorded for the sake of service. And he remains unattached by that. At the heart, he remains simple. One should aspire, it is aspiring to do something big for the Lord is not wrong. Having big plans and strategizing and desiring I should do something, we should do something significant for the mission, it's good. But when the result happens, how do we handle that? Defines whether we are simple or whether we are complicated. When the opinions, even in the dealings between the devotees, how am I handling my opinions which are rejected, outrightly rejected? So we have to be simple. A person, a devotee who is simple and not complicated, he doesn't mind whether my opinions are agreed or not agreed, uh, or quashed. It doesn't matter for him. So that is the instruction for the devotees. The devotees have to be also very careful that he leads his life very fair and uncomplicated, because the purpose of life is advancement in Krishna consciousness. Goal of life is to preach Krishna consciousness, and everyone is given that opportunity to experience that. Now, the preaching movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is to practice and preach the teachings. That is a real someone who is contented with that, then he is simple, then he is not complicated. His mind will be free and not caught up with so many kind of dissatisfaction in the heart. His mind will to practice, to advance in Krishna consciousness, to practice Krishna consciousness, mind has to be free. If the mind is absorbed on so many material intricacies, then he gets stuck and lost in that and forgets the original purpose of being in association of the Vaishnava institution, which is to advance in Krishna consciousness. So these are the some things which we understand, the various perspective which Prabhupada is trying to narrate in this purport. And Kapila Muni is also sensitizing here that how a family man should not be maintaining his family in an irreligious way, which will make him to suffer in his next life. Although they may not realize, they may not believe, but the truth is that there is a great reaction, adverse reaction that is awaiting for such kind of people to experience. We'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Vishwa Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lot of we invest too much of emotion behind that. Not good enough. Let it go. We should agree and let it go. Give it up. We put our attention energy is our energy. We know where to put and where not to put. Same principle of attachment comes into play. Too much of result oriented control. Like that we have to do. Someone blasted me. I gave my opinion. I gave my version. All these things are only going to make myself very much devoted to this issue. If you have so much in the heart, we'll eternally, keep in that. Keep in the mind. Basically, we should forget. We should allow ourselves to forget. When we will forget when we don't pay attention, when we don't meditate on that. We meditate on that. Day and night we meditate on that. So those experiences we meditate. Okay, initially out of past conditioning, because that is the life we have been leading all this. So meditation will happen, even if you don't want, because our mind works in a way that it will make you to meditate on that. But there are other positivities which are there, which can be some which can subdue it by practicing some process. Say if you found some devotee not whom you felt hurt, you go and serve him. Not artificial, genuine, not artificial. Okay, even if it is artificial, also too artificial, so that one day it will become genuine. Still okay, artificial is still okay, so that you come to a track of doing genuinely also. Because when you are serving that person, you will not have, that means you are letting go from your heart by that service. Till you don't do the service, your heart will, if you are not able to get out of it from the heart on your own strength by practice of japa and sadhu sangha and other favorable, still you need something that is Vaishnava Seva. You go and serve that Vaishnava. You are hurt by me, so, and you are stuck in your heart, very deep hole. ऑपरेशन चाहिए, हाथ में होल हो गया तो बाहर ऑपरेशन करते हैं ना होल भरने के लिए, तो भी ऑपरेशन करना पड़ेगा. ऑपरेशन इज व्हाट you should not carry in the heart. Even rationally also
Hare Krishna.